And good evening, everyone, and welcome into the UFC Fight Cards podcast presented by Orange Fire Media. I am your host, Russ Renault. Thanks for joining us here after a week off. UFC was not in action last week, but we're back in action last night from the Apex in Las Vegas, and so we return on our show for the instant reaction. Usually we do this right after the fight, but sometimes those Apex cards are a little bit more difficult on the schedule. So as you can tell, I'm a little bit hadn't been feeling that great this week anyway, and so last night just wasn't going to happen, but we hope that we'll do it right after the fights from now on. Just didn't make it happen last night, so look forward to Saturdays, but we've been doing Sundays for so long that it really doesn't matter, so just as long as we get it done during the weekend. So let's get right into it. We had a card from the Apex last night, and we had number 11 Nasruddin Imavov against number 7 Roman Dolidze in the middleweight division, and this came out a clear unanimous decision for Imavov. A great performance, except for that illegal kick to the head with a grounded opponent. A lot of talk whether that rule should go away or not, but nonetheless cost him a point. So it's pretty blatant. The rule's a rule right now. But weird scorecard. You had a 49-44, and then you had a 47-47. It's ridiculous. Then you had, a closer one, 48-47. But Imavov, clear winner, and just moving up in the middleweight division. So we'll see how that works out and see what's down the road for him. A big win there for Imavov. So let's get right into it. The co-main event, Renato Moicano, he's shooting up there. Big name, big mouth. So he's looking for some big time. Got it done last night against another big name, Drew Dober. Lightweight division, unanimous decision for Moicano. So good job by him getting that victory and really making a name for himself and aiming for those top contenders in the lightweight division. So we had a big knockout in the welterweight division. Randy Brown, one of the rookies from the 2023 products, defeating Muslim Salikov. So big first round knockout. And, on the show, we like to pull out the cards that we have. So Randy Brown auto right there. Rookie auto. Also got a rookie card silver. And, all of the cards we show here on the show are available for sale. You can go to our store on eBay, Orange Fire Lots of Lots. Yeah, we have everything listed there, and just reach out to us any way you can. We'll have all the contact information at the end of the show. But we started off in the beginning of the show. We about a year ago now, so this is kind of our anniversary show. We've been at this for a year. This is our 48th show, so almost weekly. But we opened a whole bunch of cards, and so we're just trying to move those, trying to get those out the door. We've got complete sets of Prism and Donruss if you want any of those. We've got a bunch of complete sets of Donruss. I think I have one set of Prism left from last year. And we'll talk a little bit about where the trading card hobby's going once we talk about the rest of the fights. So Randy Brown getting the big win, and we saw a women's top 10 matchup in the flyweight division. Natalia Silva, ranked number 10, getting an upset win of sorts against Viviane Araujo. Unanimous decision there. Going down the card, hitting the highlights after the main card. Obviously a big win for Molly McCann, getting the sub at the end of the first round against Diana Belbita. A great win for Molly McCann to bounce back after 2 straight losses. Kind of disappointing after just shooting up there and becoming really popular. Her and Patty Pimblett, really taking the popularity there for a little bit last year. And those 2 losses were devastating. And she said she was about to quit, but she didn't, and gets a win. And so back on the radar for Molly McCann. So see what we have from her going forward. The other one to talk about on this card, Themba Gorimbo, first round knockout of Pete Rodriguez, welterweight division. If you followed the story, Themba Gorimbo, his last fight out, had $7 in his bank account. and was living off the charity of others. And The Rock was helping out and was there last night, and big knockout for Garimbo. So just a great story for him to get another paycheck, another winner's check, and so hopefully things aren't as dire as they were before. So that's really the wrap up for last night, and now we look ahead. We had a lot added here this week. Still waiting on that UFC 300 main event, though. We'll talk about that at the end. So we'll kind of run through some of the bigger highlights of things that have been added and what's coming up down the pipe here in the next few weeks. So we got another fight night from the Apex next weekend, and Jack Hermansson and Joe Pyfer, middleweight division. Jack Hermansson ranked number 10. Joe Pyfer, unranked, one of the rookies from 2023. And so I'm going to go out here and I'm going to say that Joe Pyfer is going to get this upset win over Jack Hermansson. I just think the power is there, and he's going to take advantage, and he's going to land that shot and turn the lights out on Jack Hermansson. So look for Joe Pyfer in the main event next week. So we've got a new co-main event, number 13, Dan Ige. Different opponent now, Andre Fili, featherweight division. So looking at Dan Ige there in that one. Then we go down the card a little bit. Robert Brychek against Albert Duraev, middleweight match. A lot of middleweight matchups on here. Adolfo Vieira is on this card against Armin Petrosian. What else has been added? Oh, this is a good women's matchup. Loma Lukbumni against Bruna Brazil, women's strawweight division. Max Griffin against Jeremiah Wells, welterweight matchup. It's pretty good. And then we get to UFC 298, February 17th from Anaheim. And, of course, a huge card with the featherweight title on the line between the champion Alexander Volkanovski and the number 3rd ranked contender Ilia Topuria. So, I'm leaning Volk in this one right now. I just think he's just dominated this division, and it's still his time. And I just see him holding on to that with everything he has. So, co-main event, Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa, middleweight matchup, number 3 against number 6. Robert Whittaker needing a victory to stay in that title hunt after, lost to Dracus du Plessis last year, getting Dracus the title shot. So Robert Whittaker looking to come back and bounce back in that one. So we'll make some more predictions on this one next week after we looked at it a little bit closer. But another welterweight matchup, number 8, Jeff Neal. Number 10, Ian Machado Gary. Everybody's looking forward to this one after Gary had to pull out the last time due to an illness. Big bantamweight matchup, number 2 against number 3, Merab Dvalishvili against Henry Cejudo. Middleweight matchup, number 14, Anthony Hernandez against Roman Kopylov. Women's strawweight division, number 3, Amanda Lemos against number 7, Mackenzie Dern. Heavyweight matchup, number 14, Marcos Rogerio de Lima against Justin Tafa. So just a stat card. That's your prelims right there. Those two fights, and that's pretty good. You get down to the bottom there. Number 14, Andrea Lee against Miranda Maverick. Women's flyweight matchup. Miranda Maverick collects cards. She's looking for her own cards. So she belongs to the UFC Sports Cards group on Facebook that I'm a member of. A lot of great things going on there. So check out their breaks. Miranda Maverick takes part in those. Really big active member in there. So that's pretty cool. We like to point out those fighters who are really active in those groups and collect their own cards. So you've got like Jimmy Flick and Sean Brady's dad. So it's pretty cool. Max Griffin, who we talked about. So yeah. So then we got Fight Night, February 24th, Mexico City. Number 1, Brandon Moreno against number 3, Brandon Royval in the men's flyweight division. Huge co-main event. Featherweight division, number 2, Yair Rodriguez against number 3, Brian Ortega. Rematch from, it was about a year ago when Ortega's shoulder separated in the matchup against Rodriguez, led to Rodriguez getting that interim title matchup and then going on to get the title shot against Volkanovski. So then we look down at Raul Rosas Jr. on this card against Ricky Tercios. And so a lot has been added to that card. since. So looking forward to that one. Still nothing on the March 2nd card from Saudi Arabia. Nothing scheduled there. Then we got UFC 299 March 9th in Miami. And I don't know what you have left after this card, because it's that and UFC 300 obviously are stacked, because you got Sean O'Malley against Chito Vera, the champion against number 6 in the bantamweight division. And this co-main event in the lightweight division. So Poirier said the fight was off earlier this week, and then later that same day said, "Oh, I didn't talk to my manager. The fight's on." So co-main event: Dustin Poirier against Benoit Saint Denis. Kevin Holland against Michael Page. Welterweight matchup. Another welterweight matchup: Gilbert Burns against Jack Della Maddalena. Bantamweight matchup: Petr Yan against Song Yadong. That's your main card. And then listen to the prelims. This is crazy. Heavyweight matchup: number 5 Curtis Blades against number 7 Jailton Almeida. Women's flyweight division: number 4 Caitlin Chukagian against number 7 Macy Barber. Lightweight division: number 6 Mateusz Gamrot against number 11 Rafael dos Anjos. Bantamweight division: number 11 Pedro Munoz against Kyler Phillips. And that's just insane. That's just a phenomenal card, and there's 4 other fights after that. So really looking forward to 299 and 300, because they're going to be awesome. So then we go to the Apex again, March 16th. I wish something would come to Houston, because there's so many Apex cards. Heavyweight main event: Tai Tuivasa against Marcin Tybura, number 9 against number 10. Then Ovince St. Preux against Kennedy and Nzechukwu. And we look down on that fight card. Women's bantamweight top 10 matchup: number 6 Pannie Kianzad against number 10 Macy Chiasson. And that's about the highlights of that one so far. Another fight night from the Apex, March 23rd, Amanda Ribas and Rose Namajunas. And a lot's been filled in on that one. March 30th, Atlantic City. This one's a good one we all look forward to. Number 7, Sean Brady against number 9, Vicente Luque. I think that one might be a little bit up in the air right now, though. We'll have to look at that one again. But, even the co-main could jump up to the main event, just because Aaron Blanchfield's from New Jersey, taking on number 3, Manon Fiorot, the women's flyweight division. Big light heavyweight matchup added to that one. Number 12, Alonzo Minifield and Carlos Ulberg, one of the 2023 rookies. Then another fight night from the Apex, April 6th. Marvin Vettori against Brendan Allen, number 5 against number 8 in the middleweight division. Also got a women's bantamweight matchup, number 11 Norma Dumont against Jermaine Durandamy, former champion there. And then we get to the big one, UFC 300. April 13th, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. Main event to be determined, so we'll talk about that in a second. Obviously, your co-main event is set. Women's Strawweight Championship on the line. All Chinese championship between Zhang Wei Li and Yan Xiaonan. Lightweight matchup here for the BMF title. Number 2, Justin Gaethje against number 1, Max Holloway. Number 1, Charles Oliveira against number 4, Arman Tsarukyan in the lightweight division. Light heavyweight division. This is to round out your main card, which is sick. Number 2, Yuri Prochazka against number 5, Alexander Rakic. Then here on the prelims, featherweight matchup. Number 7, Calvin Kattar against the number 1 bantamweight contender, the former champion Aljamain Sterling. You got middleweight matchup, Bo Nickel returning to action against Cody Brundage. Davison Figueiredo against Cody Garbrandt. And Jim Miller against Bobby Green. That is UFC 300 right now with no main event. So what could be the main event at UFC 300? And we've talked about it the last couple of weeks that we've been on. So Leon Edwards and Bilal Muhammad is the leading contender for that spot right now. But there are some rumblings of other things going on. So you could possibly go Tom Aspinall against Alex Pereira for the interim heavyweight title. Or you could go Tom Aspinall against Cyril Gane for the interim heavyweight title. So I don't know if either one of those really tickle the fancy of the fans. if that's really the big one that UFC is expecting, or, I don't think anything else could really fit there except for Leon and Bilal or Aspinall. And I'd rather see Cyril Gane, a real heavyweight, instead of Alex Pereira. That's just my personal opinion. I'd love to see Tom Aspinall fight anybody, anytime. But I'm going to lean towards Cyril Gane just to put that one to bed and just wait for that winner, John Jones and Stipe, if that ever happens. And, maybe Tom just ends up being the linear champion at some point. So we'd all love to see that. Of course, no love lost, here. Of course, I love Tom Aspinall, and I wish the best that good things work out for him. So maybe we see him at 300. I don't know. But certainly a possibility. But I think they're just going to have to pull the trigger on Leon and Bilal here pretty soon. So kind of a shorter show tonight. So we're not going to go through a whole lot with the cards. Like I said, you can reach out to me directly here on the show, Russ at orange-fire.com. You can go to our website, orange-fire.com. Go on the eBay store and see everything we have listed. We've got about 30 lots listed right now, and a whole bunch of different things. Got this Michael Chandler slab, but that comes with another Michael Chandler auto and some other Michael Chandler cards. Of course, the Randy Brown auto and a bunch of other autographs we still got out there. Jack Della Maddalena, we got 2. Marvin Vittori, got a couple. So some good stuff there. So just go there and check that out on the Orange Fire Lots of Lots on the eBay store. So yeah, this is a shorter wrap up tonight. So we want to kind of do these more little quick hitters, and we want to try to get better at doing them right after the fights, just like we did at UFC 297 with Strickland and Duplessis. That worked out really well. That schedule works out a lot better for me if we can do that like right after those later fights. So a lot of fun here on the show, and we hope that you'll be part of it, and we appreciate you stopping by here tonight, and we hope to see you again next weekend, and we will try to do it right after the fights on Saturday from the Apex in Las Vegas. That will be Jack Hermanson and Joe Pyfer in the main event. So I'm Russ Renaud. Thanks for joining us here on the UFC Fight Cards podcast presented by Orange Fire Media. We hope you have a great week and that you join us here again next week. And thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again then right here on the UFC Fight Cards podcast.